Look, man.
Where? Oh, I see.
Wow.
Oh, my. Bowen, look over there.
Wow, is that
culture?
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Las Culturistas.
Ding dong.
Las Culturistas calling.
This, I just want to say before we sort of launch into whatever this is going to be, what's making me really happy is that we're watching our guest consume her first ever Celsius on ice in a glass, and it's a color.
It's a color that serendipitously matches her outfit and shoes. And speaking of the word serendipitous, I've had this vocal stim for at least 12 years. I'm sorry I don't want to go to Serendipity and drink frozen hot chocolates with your uncle's girlfriend, who is a stewardess named Elodie. The build, that is right there in one line, a masterclass in dialogue. You build and build and build and oh my! I've never forgotten that line of dialogue.
I mean,
among the legion of other sequences of words on that show called Girls.
But can I tell you another shorter one?
Yes, of course, please.
And
that's
this
a long
sometimes
one.
the brevity will be what hits. What do I want to be like you?
Like mentally ill? Shows you're cruel drunk. It's crazy.
And we really had to work with Allison to try to go back into the file cabinets of her brain when she was on. Was that improvised line? It's crazy.
It's crazy.
But then you read this wonderful book, Famesick, and you get a glimpse into the creative process. Honestly, here's the thing, everyone out there. You need this book. You actually need to read it. It's required reading. Not that there's going to be a test, but consider yourself unprepared for the rest of sort of your life going forward if you don't go out and get it.
It's not even, there's no test involved. It's just a book where, and I haven't had this in a while, it's one of those, it's a nodder. You're nodding every page.
You're I recognize this.
Yeah. You knowingly nod at a book like this, which felt really refreshing.
I mean, just to say, this is obviously a huge moment in the podcast. I mean, it's the creator of our favorite show, the creator of our favorite words. I mean, become a pal.
Somehow.
In a true love at first sight moment, became a pal.
Yeah.
We found love in an apple place. That's all we'll say.
That's all we're gonna say.
That's all we're gonna.
Let's just say I have one photo. You know how sometimes on your iPhone, one photo, there's that thing of this day last year, or sometimes it's not even a year ago. It's just
rude
your phone
sometimes.
just decides
So rude.
pictures that it's gonna keep showing you.
Terrible.
Our guest factors in to that for me, because I'll just randomly be flipping through and it's oh, there's a picture of me and Bo. Oh, there's a picture of me and Greta. And then there's Lena Dunham and Tim Cook. Just the two of them.
A gorgeous couple.
With my nipples erect.
And we have to unpack this on the anniversary of Apple's 50th birthday. On Apple's 50th birthday. No, today, did they... Okay, we'll get into this. Everyone, please welcome Lena Dunham. Today is the 50th anniversary of Apple Computer.
Is it really?
And
we're here together?
And we're here together.
Okay, so I don't know how much I can say before a drone strike happens right here. But firstly, I just want to say it's an honor to be with you.
Are you kidding?
I'm a huge fan,
No.
a huge consumer of your content.
Mm-hmm. Thank you
I
for the
love
quotes.
what you do. And when we had our love at first sight moment, you said something about the podcast, and I never do this, and I was like, which I'd love to be on.
Yeah, no. And that was... See, that's the kind of thing where it's we earmark it immediately because I'm oh, okay, that's something that can happen.
Yeah.
I was begging for it to. I was circling the building. But we spent 2 full and complete days together at the Apple iPhone launch.
Yes.
Which I kept saying, we're here to understand the future. I didn't know what else to say or how to say it.
Was that just what you were saying as a line to the people that worked there? Yeah, I'm here to understand the future.
Well, I was saying it to the people who worked there, and then I started to believe it. And then I started to say it to people I care about, like you.
Yeah.
But I was I don't want to be left behind. I was when the future comes, I want to be there. When they're having us use the tools, I want to be the one running the tools. And everyone was okay, babe, calm down. You're going to get a free iPhone. You can breathe.
It's got a new lens, yeah.
I saw you two walk in. There was a series of sort of public art arches,
yes.
Colorful arches. And I was standing there awkwardly, my heels digging into the sod. And I saw you two, and I screamed a scream that was pure pleasure. It was like if you were a wolf separated from your child in a Disney movie and then you encountered them in the forest after a full story arc.
Yeah, 100%.
That's how it felt.
I will say, I was like, I said to Bowen, I was like, how gagged would you be if just to go back to like 2013 and be like, one day we're going to see Lena Dunham at an event and be like, thank God
you're here.
Like, oh my God.
And I couldn't believe, I was just sitting here in such pleasure because you're better at being Allison and me than Allison and me.
Oh my God.
Please.
But I will tell you, I don't remember much, but I do know that I don't want to drink frozen hot chocolate at Serendipity with your uncle's girlfriend, who's a stewardess named Elodie.
Yeah, no.
Was an improv.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Sometimes
The stewardess.
you catch
named-
lightning in a bottle.
Lena.
Sometimes. I remember we were really jacked up. It was the middle of the night. We weren't drinking Celsius, but something equivalent. And it just happened.
I'm going to butcher this because in that same block of script, you also say, and mind you, you're coked up, your character's, your hand is coked up. And you looked at me with your eyes and you lied to me with your eyes when you said by not saying anything at all. Like of course that's all improvised. And I'm like, but that's just your brain.
Well, that's so sweet. We also snorted a lot of lactose powder.
Yeah, I was wondering.
And you can't know what that does. Like Andrew and I recently talked about, we snorted
Milk.
tons of milk off a toilet that day. And what came later just
had to be a sinus infection.
I know we didn't feel good. We were also we were dancing in a club we arrived at 5 a.m. So by the time we were sweaty, coked up and dancing, it was 7:30 a.m.
Yeah.
So like this nightlife scene was actually us jacked up on lactose powder.
Sure.
7:30 a.m. And what happens
improv.
happens. Improving our little faces. What is it that you do on RuPaul's Drag Race? You dance
Lip sync for your life.
Lip sync for your life.
for your
You're
life.
lip syncing
Sing
for
for
your
your
life.
supper. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
That also broke open crop mesh, I think, for a new generation.
Thank you so much. I remember when the shirt came out, we had an amazing costume designer,
Yeah.
Jen, and she brought the shirt out and was like, we could do a bra with it. I was like, we're not doing anything with it.
No, this is tits underneath.
This is my tits are my accessory.
Yeah.
And also, you don't know in your 20s how much they're going to change. You
Your
don't
tits.
know. Yeah, your tits.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this recently because I have a pal who lives with me who's in her 20s and they're just up like champagne flutes. And I just looked and I was like, take advantage, take photos,
Yep.
be topless.
When
enjoy
you're doing
yourself.
a TV show and they ask you if you want a bra underneath your mesh,
say no. Because someday you're going to be wearing 3 t-shirts
Yeah.
and a sweater just to hold it back, you know?
So on this topic, do you want to unpack the reason why your nipples went erect next to Tim Cook?
It was crazy.
It's
because
okay if it's attraction.
it was definitely like he's got, what do we call it? Swag. He's
Yeah.
got Riz, whatever is going
Whatever
on.
you want.
Whatever that thing is gonna be next week.
But I also think like the panic of you have 2 minutes with which to properly engage with this person. I mean, I kept saying things like, I love your products. I was saying things that I never imagined
Of
would
course.
come out of my mouth.
Terrible.
And then I looked down and like, for the first time in 15 years, my nipples were standing at attention. And I looked at the photo and it truly looks like one of those pictures you see of like a married couple that has moved to a vacation destination together.
No, I know. I have it on my phone.
Yeah, you have it
I'm
on your
like,
phone.
This is a picture that I treasure.
Yeah, we look like, and I remember coming up to you and being like, I just took the picture with him. My nipples popped out, then popped right back in. Don't know why, don't know how.
Portrait mode.
He's got searing eyes.
Okay, so this is something I haven't
Like
said.
you, incredibly blue searing eyes.
That's so. About a few months later,
Yeah.
I actually was at the same restaurant as him when I was in DC. Remember this, Melissa? Melissa came and we sang backup for me on my tour. We're at a restaurant.
Thank
and
you,
then
Melissa, for your service.
Everyone goes, and Melissa knew that I had met him at that
Yeah.
event. So the waiter comes over to our table and goes, I do have to ask you guys if you're finished, if you don't mind. I never do this. It's just that Tim Cook has your table after you. And we go, what? And I was like, not sure they were supposed to do that. Anyway, I'm like, yes, we'll go. And then
Wow.
someone goes, are you going to say hi on the way out? I was like, no, I am not. And then they go, well, why not? I mean, you've met the guy once. I was like, I am not saying hello to Tim Cook on the way out of here. I was like, I don't want to do it.
Going up to him and being like, we met for 2 minutes in a picture line. Do you remember
but
my nipples?
everyone I was with was like expecting it to happen. And so they described me running by him. Like he was standing at the bar. I got on the ground and basically used all my pads of all my feet and hands to like crawl out.
Yes.
And they were like, what you just did to not say hi to him is the craziest thing we've ever seen.
What's crazy is if I saw him in the wild, I would never recognize him again. In my brain, he looks like Steve Jobs.
Right.
Yeah, well, you're like, it can't be.
It can't be, but also his face, which was so clear to me in that moment, like we'd been waiting for each other our whole lives, gone. Disappeared into a puff of smoke.
No.
And it's interesting because we were there together and we didn't totally know. I mean, everyone was being really nice to us, but we didn't totally know what our job was.
No.
What are we here for? What do you want from us? I like clear instructions.
It felt like the beginning of the Westing game, or like an Agatha Christie
I
novel.
love the Westing game.
Well, I love the Westing game too, and that you kind of just shot
Unlocked.
something
I'm sorry.
through me.
That's
like,
our project we'll do together. Is
By
we
the
should make
way-
up the
Westing
Westing
game?
game.
did they ever make a movie of the Westing game?
Sure.
You know what? I'm sure I looked this up. I think they did. Becca, can you look up if they did the Westing game, maybe
like a
in the
young
late
Jodie-
80s, early 90s for
Well, there's
television?
these books that are like part of a genre of like mysteries for children, like suspense for children. There was one that I loved. I don't know if you ever read a book called The Wolves of Willoughby Chase.
No, tell it
Did
what
that
a title.
hit anything? It was it was like about a girl. I loved books about like a girl who is an orphan and she moves to a house and something's not quite right.
Yeah, and she gets out her little book and pencil.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. And I wanted to be that child. And the Westing game, and also, did you like The Giver?
Of course.
The Giver. Wasn't Taylor Swift in The Giver?
She was in The Giver.
Yes,
She was in
she
The Giver.
was.
She played an important memory in The Giver.
She played an important memory.
And remember, his
She
job
plays
is,
an important memory in all of our lives.
of course.
Keep going.
And I think about The Giver because she's a brunette in The Giver.
Yes.
She
She's
is.
but
That's why you think about
that's
it.
why I think about it, is because she was a brunette with bangs.
Yes.
And I loved it.
Well,
I
it's
love every time she
an
acts.
era that doesn't get spoken of.
An era that
her
we-
Giver era.
Her
It's rule of culture number 13. No one talks about Taylor's Giver era.
That was so amazing how fast. It's amazing to be on something that you're a fan of because I'm watching this thing I love, but I'm here.
Well, just to speak on that, it's funny, like, because everyone did the girls rewatch moment, and that had to feel like,
Which is ongoing, I feel.
yeah. Well, it definitely it started. I would say like 2022. It started to like really catch fire. Like we're all rewatching this, but I wonder how it feels to know that like. At the time, everyone was like, I don't understand how someone can be in it and capture it. But as a time capsule, it may be growing into its purpose even more as a time capsule of that era.
That is, for me, the greatest thing. Because if we think about it, like, I remember Judd Apatow once saying to me, we think the most important moment of anything's life is when it first comes out. And the internet's responding and people, but actually, you don't know the role that anything plays until it's been in the world for a long time.
Right.
Like we all now recognize that My So-Called Life is the greatest teen show of all time. It was canceled after one season. My best friend Matt Wolf did put together a petition, which was signed by over 10,000 people, that to try to get it back on the air. But shockingly, was it ABC?
ABC.
Didn't listen to a 15-year-old head of his Gay Straight Alliance in San Jose,
And that's
California.
really the big problem.
And that's a big problem with television because
think
that's
so.
who we need to be serving.
Because
And
we would have had more than one season of Freaks and Geeks then too.
Yeah.
of course, we would have had more than one season of Enlightened. We would have but we can't have nice things.
No. Here's the thing. We were just talking. People are so much smarter than they are when they're like, hi, I'm promoting a movie and
Yeah.
I'm behind it. It's like they walk off camera and they're like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, and then and even if it's a hit, sometimes they don't know about it because some things that hit with culture are actually hitting on like the worst parts of us.
Right.
And some things, and we now know that lots of brilliant actors have had to do things that so it's just an interesting thing to think like there are things that hit and you go, everyone's talking about it, but what will be happening in
Yes.
5, 10, 15, 20 years? And when we were making Girls, there was so much sort of feedback, probably more, we had more people reviewing it than watched it.
Interesting.
honestly.
I believe this, and I
the
agree.
discussion was something that was paramount.
Exactly. And then it's really nice when something's out of its discussion phase. And now people are just maybe getting to like watch it in a cozy context. And also they don't have to be reacting to the reaction
Yep.
or thinking, does this define what it feels like for me to be 24? Does this feel like it reflects, but actually can just engage with it as what it was. There's some TikTok sound where the girl's like, she's like, I don't know, I'm just being goofy. And sometimes I feel about the show, I'm like, I'm just being goofy.
Yeah.
And when there's that much discussion, you're like, and I think people can maybe go like, they were just being goofy.
Yes.
And actually that's more meaningful in a way.
Oh, good. But I think what Matt's saying is like you captured it while you were in it. And I think it's it's completely remarkable that you were able to maintain that sort of valence throughout, despite the discourse
Incredible
around
use of
it.
valence. You just
Whatever.
knocked me
I
out.
probably
He'll always use valence and things like that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
But like the fact that you maintained this throughout, and I was even laughing in the book where you were like talking about the last season, you were writing scenes that made no sense, like, you know, Shoshana goes to this
Shoshana
place.
goes to a nudist camp, like, because ending a show is so hard, and you're like, I'm gonna really shock them, and then you're like, this isn't shocking. Shoshana wandered down the road to a nudist camp. We also have to remember there was a lot of, I always knew where I wanted the show to end from the beginning, which is I wanted her to have a baby, latching. But I was like, how do we get there? And what does that look like? And there was definitely some crawling around in the mud to arrive at. I mean, I remember just like, it was like a maniacal detective. I had like 150 index cards that I was spread. I have these pictures of me like sitting in a sea of index cards on my floor, just being like, what if we don't? I remember one day I was like, okay, I have this crazy idea. We don't have a season finale. We do an episode 9 and then we stop. And they were like, but that would then be the season finale. And I was like, okay. It's like my father told me a story about when he did acid for the first time and he looked at his friend and said, what if we raise our children with no egos? And they thought that they'd like solved it.
They figured it out.
And they kind of did.
They kind of did, but you can't necessarily maintain that when you're not on a heavy dose of LSD.
Yeah, they would have to just make sure that when the baby came into the world immediately, they give them the same dose.
Exactly.
Point to the sky. See, it's a dome. This is all fake.
This is all fake. Do a full Truman Show. But I was having a, what if we raise our babies with no egos? What if we just forsake the season finale? Blow everybody's mind.
Yeah.
They're just, it's another day. It's over.
Yeah.
But you can't game the system that way. You just can't.
We all would have arrived at that same exact idea had we been creating, starring, running a show, directing episodes of the show while we were at the tender age of 25, 26, 27.
Definitely writing the book made me realize how crazy it is to give jobs of any consequence. And as again, another quote from my father who always says, there are no art emergencies.
Yeah.
Because people love to act like they're actually, like my aunt is an emergency room doctor. Mm-hmm. Sometimes she would have to treat someone whose like leg got caught in a subway door. That is an emergency.
That would be,
Season finale, actually not an emergency, but it was still a job that involved actual interfacing with many people and engaging.
Right.
And I just look back and I go, that is so, like, I see people are that age now and I go, you should still be inside your mother's body.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. No, that's just...
You should be a Joey and a kangaroo.
You should be a Joey and a kangaroo, and no one should let you out till you're 32.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the book was grappling with that. And what was interesting was I was so judgmental of myself at the time. And looking back, I was like, oh my God, like there definitely are low points, but there are definitely some moments where I was like, I should have been nicer to you. You were trying so hard and it was going okay.
And actually trying things. I mean, there were moments in that show where I was like, I would sit perplexed with it. I remember just being a huge fan of the show, and the first season had come and gone, and then the second season happened, and there's an episode where Hannah is at the cemetery and she sits there and she parrots back a story that someone else had told about their own grief to someone else. And the episode ended, and I remember being like, at the time I was like, I didn't like that episode. I can't believe she did that. And I didn't like that episode. And then now looking back, I'm like, no, I think I saw something true. And I think there's a testament to you putting that out there, even at that age when you know discourse is really tough and you're judging yourself, there's a lot of checkpoints to get through when you put on your lead character who's like, you know, close to yourself, doing an ugly thing. And she did a lot of ugly things, and all those characters did.
I always forget how many ugly things she did. And then someone was like, oh, I just watched the episode, came up to me in the street, and they're like, I just watched the episode where she goes to her boss's funeral and makes it all about herself. And I was like, she did that? Are you kidding
exactly,
me?
right?
You can't go to somebody's funeral that you don't know well and make it all about yourself. And I remember that being the scene in the cemetery. Firstly, I remember it because I fainted. And then the medic said, I think you're okay because you still have rosiness in your fingernail beds. And I was like,
there's still life in you
don't
yet.
think you are a medical professional. I think this...
Well, on a TV set.
I was like, I remember he laid me back and he was like, Rosie, nail beds, check. And I was like, is
Pulse,
this...
check,
Pulse
kinda.
check. I think we need to get some Gatorade in this girl's stat. So that is one memory I have. But the other is I remember doing that monologue where she's like, my cousin had cystic fibrosis and I had to, which was actually that story was a true story about my father's cousin that is real and sad, that we then gave to Gabby, that we then gave to me. And I remember feeling sick doing the monologue because there were a couple things. Like there's a scene in the first season where Hannah tries to seduce her boss who's sexually harassing her to turn the tables and reclaim and also try to like maybe get a bunch of back pay. Yeah. She's like, maybe if we fuck, then he'll have to like give me a ton of money. Yep. And I remember the scene and being like, who wrote this for me? Why am I Richard Mazer, a kind, talented, seasoned character actor I'm about to go in and straddle aggressively. And then I saw him recently because he came and did a part in my movie, and he was like, I haven't seen you since that straddling.
Straddling.
But it was hard sometimes because I was like, also I knew that the valence was, is it a valence? I knew that the curtain between how people perceived her and perceived me was extremely sheer.
Yes.
So I also knew when I made those choices. And what I loved thinking about writing the book was also how, like, Sasha, Jemima, Allison, all have, you've met Allison, she's the most, she's hilarious and dirty, but she's also correct and polite. Everything you need to know about her is she once got tendinitis from writing too many thank you notes.
That reads
you described her as a thank you note and her thank you note writing life.
Her thank you note writing life.
Yeah.
And and Zasha is incredibly smart and thoughtful, and Jemima is her own iconic role, and they were all so down to clown.
Yeah.
Like, you'd go up to them and you'd be like, today you are going to get your ass eaten by your friend's boyfriend. They'd be like, all right, here we go.
Here we go.
The one time I remember we gave Allison a monologue where she was supposed to say that she'd lost her virginity at 14. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, she lost her virginity when she was 14. And she was like, that doesn't really square with like how I've been thinking about her, very thoughtfully. She's like, I've been playing her in one way. And Jemima came up and she's like, what would you have been doing if you knew she lost her virginity at 14? Hi, I'm Marnie. And then she did this like voice of like the alternate Marnie who talked like this because she lost her virginity at 14. Yeah. And we were just like, okay, we're not going to be precious about this.
No.
We're just going to try it. And then she talked about losing her virginity at 14 and fucking crushed it.
Yeah.
This is what's going on in my this is my take on what the person coming up to you saying, oh, I just saw the episode where about the funeral, and with what Matt's saying about like, I don't like what I just saw, and then realizing in hindsight that's me, is like, I think the show kind of conveyed this better than anything else for our generation, where it's like, the person you hate the most or the person that annoys you the most would be you if they grew up and lived in your exact same circumstances.
100%. I remember my first ever therapist, shout out Lisa Spiegel. She, a truly important woman in my life. And I remember I was talking about a girl that I was not cool at school. And I was like, there's this one girl and I just can't stand her. And every time she sits near me, and she was like, do you think maybe you recognize a little bit of yourself in her? And it was like, I was 9, so it was like saying, what if we raise our kids with no egos? It blew my fucking mind. But of course, and I've always been interested in, I remember like the first time I saw The British Office, I was like, oh, you're allowed to do this? Like, you're allowed to celebrate characters who are making insane mistakes. And I love when a character does not, who, You know when you meet someone and they're like, I'm a very empathic person, and you know whatever comes after is not going to be empathic? Or they say no offense, and whatever comes after is going to offend you.
Like, how do you know I don't want to hear this then?
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
Yeah.
Or when my brother last week started saying, can I be real for a second a lot? And I was like, no, I don't like it.
What are you the other seconds?
Yeah, what was happening before and why is this happening to me now?
Yeah.
But I've always been interested in characters who see themselves very differently than the rest of the world sees them.
Yes.
And that gap. And it's interesting also because people now know that you're not allowed to say, it's the same way that the Daily Mail stopped being allowed to call you fat, so they had to call you voluptuous or zaftig or
Yeah.
whatever other synonym they could come up with for what they used to say, which was like messy,
Yeah.
fat lady. And now people know that they're not supposed to be angry if women are unlikable. There's a new word that is being used
Oh, what is
Give
it?
it to us.
that comes up in notes. Are they rootable?
Rootable.
Meaning, can we root for them? Is there
Correct.
any world in which we could want them to succeed?
Correct.
Are
And I
they
do
rootable?
think that is being likable and being rootable are two different things. But it was also always really interesting when Girls was on to realize that people could accept the idea of like Tony Soprano. They could accept the idea of Walter White. But just like a girl giving like an errant hand job was truly the biggest societal problem that we had.
100%.
And I think that feels very quaint to people now. And
Yeah.
also now there's all the like, I have main character syndrome. I'm the main character of my own life. Like there's sort of a celebration of this kind of like delirious selfishness that
Yeah.
before was considered a major character flaw. So I think there's like more room in the world, it feels to me. It's funny because women have never had more problems actually.
Yeah.
But on television, there's space to wild out just a little bit more.
I almost feel like people actually think that I think people think they love and support women because they watch television with them in it, and then they convince themselves of something.
Yeah.
And then the second they turn away, it's like, well, I've already spent my time thinking and supporting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's so much more prevalent than people think.
And it is so interesting. I mean, they're great theorists who are looking at sort of like the gap between what we accept in media and what we accept in the world, and
Yeah.
what we support in media and what we support in the world. But it was interesting because when we were doing Girls, it was kind of, it was like, it was Obama era. Everything was going to be okay.
Try it.
Try it. We were on our way up. Everything, like, there was even though, of course, there was lots of consequence in the world that I didn't have a full, complete understanding of because I was like inside a soundstage and didn't know what time it was. It felt like the world was, we were going to the Women's March. We were being sent pussy hats. Everything was
Yeah.
happening. And now there's been a profound backtracking. I don't know if you remember something called Me Too, but I don't think it happened.
Yeah.
It didn't reach a lot of corners of the world.
No.
But we know that we're supposed to think that women can be naughty on TV.
Right.
That somehow survived that whole fucking.
And I want that. I want Rachel Weisz to be naughty on TV. Don't
Yeah,
get me
of
wrong.
course.
Always.
That's why I'm alive.
No one does it better.
I mean, I was watching her. I mean, direct to camera address from Rachel Weisz. We don't deserve.
No.
We don't deserve. Also, I love how the whole time she's like, I'm old and ugly and no one will look at me. And I was like, you're the single most beautiful woman.
You're
Right.
actually famously iconic for your I'll never forget the first time I saw her in the Mummy movies.
Oh.
That's like an arresting image for all time.
Like, she's almost more so if you're not even attracted to women because you go, what am I?
Yeah,
Right.
right.
What am I?
I know I have questions.
And they come from you, Miss Weisz. But that being said, yeah, she's an iconically beautiful woman, but at the same time, any iconically beautiful woman who is over 50 is still dealing with these same things.
Right.
But it's so funny to bring up. It's not
Except for
funny.
J-Lo.
Except for who? J-Lo. Naturally.
And now a quick break from our sponsor, Vital Proteins.
And it is vital. Collagen peptides is a wellness supplement that supports healthy hair, skin, nails, bones, and joints.
When we hit 30, our body's collagen production starts to drop. And that's when Vital Proteins steps in.
Their iconic blue tub is everywhere. People love Vital Proteins, in part because it's so easy.
Just mix it into your coffee, tea, or smoothie, and you're good to go.
Right now, you can get 20% off your next order by going to vitalproteins.com and using promo code Las Culturistas 20 at checkout.
Huge thanks again to our sponsor, Vital Proteins.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But I feel like you just had this locus of chaos happening around you around the time of like this quote unquote reckoning with Me Too, where it's like the show ends.
Yep.
This relationship is on the outs.
Yep.
Like all of these things about your body are sort of coming to light for you. Like that was my takeaway from the book, was just like, oh, how are you writing this in such clear, gorgeous detail while you're talking about how you are in this like long dissociative state and how you've grown up with like these little flashes of dissociation, like hospital feeling. You're like,
hospital
like
feeling. Thank you for
something is going on with me and I'm ignoring my basic needs while I'm making the show in the name of ambition and all these things, and I have to prove something right about the way the world sees me and sees the show. Now that like the dust is settled, like I hope you're so proud of everything.
That is a beautiful thing to say, and thank you. And I think the thing that was really lovely about writing the book was I had a really long time to do it. I mean, I wrote my first book in 8 months. I wrote this book in 8 years.
Which we also loved.
Thank you.
Love Not That Kind of Girl.
Thank you so much. And I didn't want to do it for the sake of, I've been asked to do a girls rewatch podcast, get together with the girls. And I mean, people love nostalgia and I love nostalgia. And like, do I want to watch the whole cast of OC respond to episodes of the OC? Yes, I do.
Tate Donovan, come back.
Tate Donovan. I want to watch Tate Donovan watch anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in like forward motion and forward progression. And so I haven't, maybe there will be a time when I go, I'd like to live watch every episode of Girls, but I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
But I only wanted to write the book if I felt like I had something to say about the larger machine in which women are working, in which people are working, about like the larger, I do think that Hollywood is a microcosm and it reflects the way the industry works, the way that we see people reflects things that exist in a lot of parts of the world, because it's like where the center, it's interesting because Hollywood is this very kind of comparatively small industry where we have chosen to center our attention. It's a distraction, it's a indulgence, but it also has something bigger to say about the way that we live. And so I only wanted to write the book if I felt like I had something to say about all of that and about, while also being hopefully thoughtful about the fact that like 1,000 tiny violins play for the girl who's like, my TV show was too hard. But but so thank you for saying that. And it was interesting to realize how much I did do. I talk about in the book, I'd always had dissociative episodes throughout childhood. The more that my life picked up and the more stress was involved, the more they happened.
Yeah.
But I think at the time I thought ignoring your basic needs was correct. I thought like if you're really good at being a person, you can suppress and override everything that you need in order to be comfortable for and we've all been sent a million signals about what ambition, what's important, what ambition means, what, who we have to be in this sort of I'm about to say under capitalism, send me to jail. But and so
it's a capitalist jail.
Sorry, send me to capitalist jail.
Private prison.
Send me to a private prison.
Sorry.
Where they'll treat me the way I've always treated myself. But I want to tell you that something is happening inside me. Not in a bad way, good way. But I just kind of like my nipples aren't erect, but I did stand at attention.
You felt you felt the frisson.
Yeah, like
Yes.
is there a moment when you're drinking your Celsius where you go, it's on?
Yeah, of
what
course.
happens?
Yeah.
You're starting to buzz.
Yeah, it's a little bit like when you try drugs with friends for your first time and you go, is it working on you? Is it working on you?
It's working.
It's working. And also because I'm sober and now, thanks to you,
This one.
vape free.
Oh, is this where we entree into this discussion?
Okay.
I was just going to say one more before we do that. I just
Okay.
want to say the one thing about girls that it's so much of it terrified me at the time because I was like, I think I'm feeling uncomfortable because it's me. A lot of it was Marnie. I know.
Are you a Marnie?
Yeah.
What are you?
I think I'm probably a show.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
And I've been public about the fact that I'm a shosh.
You're a
Yes.
shosh.
I think you told us this. Yeah.
I'm a shosh.
You're a shosh.
I've grown into a shosh.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's not to invoke, but it's like with the Hogwarts houses, my whole thing was like, listen,
Yeah.
I was born a Gryffindor.
Yep.
In my 20s, I was a Slytherin.
Yeah, of
right
course.
now, I'm a Hufflepuff. I will die a Ravenclaw. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's sort of what
You
it
hit
is.
all four
And it
stuff.
Yeah.
feels like it's like that with the girls as well.
Yeah.
Well, like in high school, I was a Charlotte.
Yeah.
Then I turned into a Samantha.
Yes.
Had a moment thinking I was a Carrie. And I will be a Miranda for the rest of my life.
100%.
beautiful.
But I guess...
And even maybe up to the part where she gets together with Che, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I think we can't rule it out.
My husband is maybe a Che. He doesn't want to hear that.
Right.
Who does?
He's fingering you in the kitchen.
It could happen.
As
I'm
you
sorry.
bellow.
I don't mean to talk about your marriage. I'm sorry.
When you said it, I was almost like, let's call him. Like, I don't know. I'd love to talk about my marriage.
Well, I
You
guess
know, we're 5 years in. Things really settle in.
they're
Yeah,
simmering.
yeah.
I guess what was the big pull for me at the end when I was like really sitting with it, and in the rewatch too, I confirmed. I was like, wow. You don't stay friends with everyone forever. And the fact that in
Mel
the last...
Robbins calls it the great scattering.
Yes, the Great Scattering. She does
Mel.
call it that. But that whole last season is kind of about like them realizing that, I imagine. Like, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like they're moving into their different lives. Like all of a sudden there's something solidifying here and you didn't know it was coming now, but it is coming now. And this sadness that comes with that, not even the acceptance, the idea that you might have to accept it. And that... I think is one of the truest things about the show.
I don't know about you, but I held on really tight.
Mm-hmm.
I was really scared for the great scattering. I held on. I mean, I think my friends and I talked to each other in our 20s. If I look back, it's like people in a relationship. It's like it's like I feel like it's been a little strange lately and you're not responding to me the way, and it's like now I would never say that to a friend in a fucking million years because
Never.
I'm like,
It's what happens.
you've got a big complicated life. We're all trying to just get through this thing, and it's what happens. And you know, the show was also interesting because it was all about these friendships, but I was also literally always on set. So the friendships I talk about this, the friendships that it was about were then affected by the fact that I wasn't around. And then it was this big, it was like I went to sleep one day and then, or like stepped into Hannah's apartment one day. And then I got out when I was 30 and was like, I'm back, guys. And they were all like, we're pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, you are looking for a boyfriend on Delancey Street. We're pregnant.
Yeah.
And I was like, anybody want to hear about my hysterectomy? And they were like, we are wearing clogs in Brooklyn together. And I remember feeling like going to visit my friends and being like, I'm that weird aunt lady that's like comes in and she's like, I've brought you guys scarves. I was
Well, I was traveling and you know what that means.
Yes.
Little gifts.
gifts for everyone. My mom had a friend. My mom has a lot of wonderful eccentric friends, but I remember she had one friend who didn't have kids who came over once because she wanted to take some photos of our hairless cat to work into a video art piece naturally.
Well, yes.
Naturally.
And she was wearing like full Issey Miyake pleats, please. And I saw a tattoo on her hand, and I loved her partially because she was the only chubby woman that I really knew because downtown was not rife with those. But also, she was wearing Issey Miyake pleats, please. And I said, I like your tattoo. And she said, do you want to see my others? And she dropped her pants, and she had like a full constellation of all of the constellations on her like big beautiful ass.
The universe on her ass.
And I was like, that's what I want to be.
Yeah.
I would never drop my pants in front of a child.
No, but I want that to be the...
If you did, you'd be her.
If I did, that was a different time.
Yeah.
I got comfortable with the idea of like, I'm going to come in to take a picture of your hairless cat for a video art piece. And you're
Yeah.
going to say, you're going to say, what's that tattoo? And I'm going to say, I've made some mistakes.
And it's just a matter... I've made some mistakes. It's just a matter of if your friends want to stick around for that. You know what I mean?
100%.
I think the show Girls is about a friendship, a group of friends sort of... I mean, friendship is entropic. It's like it's just inevitable. And I think that's what the book is about. It's about like a friendship sort of splitting up. And that's like the most universal thing you can write about.
I remember once saying to my mom, like, it's so sad. I used to know all these people that I don't know anymore. And she's like, that's called being alive.
Yeah, living.
Like, she was like,
It's
have you
crazy.
ever heard of like Judith Garrigan? And I was like, no. And she's like, well, she was my best friend. till you were 3.
Yeah.
And then she drank a lot. That's a
Yeah,
pseudonym.
we
I
used
made
to
it up
look.
on the spot.
I used to
Yeah,
look another
beautiful.
human being in the eyes and say, "We will die together." I haven't spoken to them in 30 years.
Yes.
He's talking
Yeah.
about me.
By the way, correct.
We don't speak outside of this. We
Yeah, I
speak to
know.
representatives.
And the thing about whether your friends want to stick around for that, like that's one of the reasons I think I've had such prolonged and beautiful friendships with queer men is because since my life didn't necessarily conform to some of the milestones that I thought it would,
Right.
being friends with people who had a different idea about what family and adulthood could mean was like deeply important to me.
Yeah. There was commonality there where
Yeah.
you may have tried to find it somewhere else.
I thought that I was supposed to be, and by the way, I love all those women and they're still my friends, but I thought I was supposed to be in Bushwick, but have moved out of the smaller place and into the townhouse and be wearing the clogs. And actually, I was supposed to be at the Esalen Resort in the hot springs with a buff acupuncturist.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. Talk about the vaping.
Shout
Talk
out
about
to
the
Russell.
Shout out to Russell.
I just feel like it's just in terms of like the way you write character, it's like obviously there's a couple huge, the book is really about like relationships, and there's 2 relationships that you lose by the end of the book. But what I wanted to say was you've always created some of the like best characters of our generation, but the way that you write these people in your life, it's like such a beautiful thing, a testament to the place that they held in your life. And I feel like
you.
if you have anything in you, and I'm sure you do, I'm positive you do, which is like nervous about how they're going to receive it, which of course you are going to.
Because of course, whenever you make something, you make it for like 2 people, and they're probably the 2 people who won't even look at it. That's life.
But the thing is, like, the way you've written them is so beautiful, because what I love about what you do, even if sometimes you were fighting with yourself because you might feel a different way about these 2 people on any given day, it's like, it feels like you always held true to, I'm going to try and 360 flesh this person out as much as you can, because, you know, with these relationships like Jenny and Jack, you get a sense of both their humor, you get a sense of both their positive oddities, you get a sense of them on all of their best days.
They're the 2 funniest, most special, most defining relationships of 20 to 30. I mean, your first romantic relationship where you feel deeply understood is like the most precious thing that can ever exist. You're like, oh, I thought I really had a crush on that guy in 10th grade, but this is the first time you make a life with someone, the first real adult best friend you have. And I hoped that I could show like why I fell in love with them.
Yeah.
And also that it couldn't. I was quoting Casey Musgraves to you earlier,
Yeah.
saying that when she got divorced, she said it's a soul connection that didn't work out.
Yeah.
And that doesn't, I think like love is I think if you love someone really deeply, firstly, we know that when 2 people get divorced or something and they're like, I fucking hate them, you're like, that's because you were obsessed with them, and your obsession energy cannot be created nor destroyed, and therefore it had to transmute into something. And my goal has always been not to have that transmute into something negative. And also, if I didn't feel that deep love for them, I'd have to do this like grand erasure of all of these memories. And I remember I dated one person after my breakup, and it was like it was one of those 4 months that could have been 50 years.
Yeah.
And afterwards I deleted all the photos. And it's the one time I've done that, and I regret it so much because it's like there's this hole in my life that I just, in this moment of rash, maybe you can call Tim Cook and he can get them back.
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
He's got them.
I did the same thing. I did it with text messages and a lot of photos, and I go back and forth now on whether or not that was the right thing to do.
It was the right thing for you in the moment because you knew that you were not, you could not trust yourself with them.
Because I was obsessing.
Yes.
And I think that like
you were self-harming through nostalgia.
that's really what it was, and I knew in the moment that that's what it had become, and so I was like, I think in order to set myself free from this, I have to do this. But as someone who does, see value in looking back and being like, oh, and also just like the way you talk positively and the way you draw up what it feels like to finally get comfortable in a relationship, like
glad
actually
you
made
felt
me
that.
look back on like one particular ex that I kind of have exclusively like hard feelings about.
Yeah.
And reading what you wrote about like an old relationship, and I was like, oh, like one good thing I can say is like I really liked like being silly with him. There, like I was thinking something when I was reading your words. It's like, oh, that person when someone sees you silly.
Well, it's so funny.
Like the movement of it all.
The movement of it all.
The names that you give each other, and like
So
it's
sweet.
like you can't replicate that.
And I was once I was at the Toronto Film Festival. It's one of the places that I've been in my life. I don't know what to say. And I ran into my ex-boyfriend. I was with my husband, and he was watching. And in this totally unjealous way, he was like, "You guys were being so funny together."
Yeah.
And you just get back into this, like, in a way, when you've had a long-term relationship with someone, especially through a very pivotal moment in your life, there's things that they will only, like there's certain facts about my aunts, my aunts Bonnie and Susan, who are very important, complex female characters. And something will happen with Bonnie and Susan. I'll be like, this is the only person who could possibly understand how funny this is.
And do you reach out?
Sometimes I think that I don't like to have a blockade.
Right.
And I try to do it in appropriate doses. I'm not like, hey, came across this photo of us, really made me think. I think that's aggressive.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
That's aggressive.
To a married man from a married woman.
Psychotic.
Yeah.
And I'm totally capable of that. I just have to reel it in.
We've seen the show.
You know, like there's a part of me that could 100% be like, there's funny things that you go, this is a value that we remember this. And I remember when my father's parents died and then his brother died. And he was like, there's nobody else who remembers what it was like to be in my family. First he kept saying I'm an orphan. And I was like, okay, you're 70. So I don't know if you get to claim that title. Everyone wants a title these days.
Yeah, I know, true.
And that's the thing, is it's really beautiful to have people who remember, even if they remember differently. And my goal in the book was to show how much they meant and how much love there is that still exists for them. Will also, and I'm sure that someone could give their account and it would be the same events, but with an extremely different. I mean, that's the amazing thing about the world, is like we're all looking through our own eyes. I'm on acid.
No.
No, but I think we're on acid too. I'm like,
It's called Celsius.
it's called Celsius.
Celsius.
But there was also so much in like your working relationship and close friendship with Jenny that like
Yeah,
I texted Bowen and I was like, "Are you?"
This is
reading
about
this?
relevant stuff.
I was like,
Yeah,
"It's about
well-
relevant things."
Well, I think the thing that I've learned, those creative relationships that were so intense, they were like marriages. They were like all these. It was like I was in a polyamorous relationship. I mean, it was, and in a way, I look back and I'm like, that was my primary relationship.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then I had a secondary relationship, which was a boyfriend, and then a tertiary relationship, which was my dad.
Right.
And so that's a wild thing to look back on. And creative relationships, you two know really well, require just as much, if not more, emotional maintenance. Like when you're married to a straight man, there's so much that you just don't even have to say.
Yeah.
Like
Convenient.
my brother was like, it must be so relaxing to be married to a straight guy because they like are not really picking up on anything. You don't have to. Like it's like whenever I'm around,
and nothing means more than it does.
that's exactly right. Whenever I'm around queer couple, they're like, you moved your eyebrows, or you're feeling a little bit destabilized. And like you can just hide in your own house for days with a straight man.
The studying of punctuation. Forget it.
It doesn't mean
If
anything.
a queer man or woman like is texting you in a punctuation way that is
Mechanically
out of
correct.
the order,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, something is deeply wrong.
Oh yeah, no. It's my husband will just send a text that he doesn't. It's just one word, inexplicable word, because he hasn't looked back. And I will look back at a text and be like, did I say what I meant to say? The amount of texts I edit.
He's just sending a word and meant to send the rest, but didn't.
Last night he just sent me a picture of a broken window in our house with zero explanation. And I was like, were we robbed? And he was like, no, it was a wind issue. And I was like, you need to lead with that. But in the relationship with another woman specifically, the amount that you're picking up, it's like this insane, it's like whatever's traveling between machines at the Apple headquarters. It's like this insane level of information and subtlety, and also in creative relationships, you're in each other's heads in a different way.
You've been your smartest with that person.
They know
your
they've been
dumbest,
your
yeah.
smartest.
Yeah.
You've been your dumbest in the middle of the night. You've been your most petulant. You've been your most elegant. You've been your most brave. All of it. It's really amazing. And I think they require a very specific kind of care and maintenance. And that's why I'm sending you to Esther Perel.
Oh, brother.
I did during the therapy scene. I was like, because we've talked like at particular moments there have been like, well, maybe we should see
a therapist,
like a counselor or a therapist, like or someone that, and then we land on like mediator.
Yes,
you know what I mean? It's
yes.
like those things where, like, you know, the relationship like needs something, but you're not ready to say what kind of person, and then you're like kind of filtering through the sand of like, well, what is the difference between these
and you're
people?
like, maybe it should just be a friend who likes us both to talk it through.
But then just to save on like the explanation. And
you can, but there is something, I mean, also going to therapy with somebody that you work with is a big choice because you go, okay, I'm really proclaiming the significance of this dynamic because we're in a therapist's office together. So you two have never been to therapy together yet.
No, we've gotten far along in the process, but then inevitably things pop up and we're like, okay, we got to address this, and we will be together, and we can work this out ad hoc as necessary.
We can work this out amongst ourselves
until we really need to like.
My therapist says she doesn't think we need it.
By the way, I trust that.
Yeah.
And also, it seems to me, as a passionate viewer, that you're doing fine. I'm not picking up on any tension right now.
It's not like, okay, great.
What I will say is that whenever there is a period of tension, it does break and it blows, and we're always literally 50 times better afterwards. I sometimes wish it didn't have to get there, but I also think that we get better at communicating every time, and as we know, that's what it is all about.
Well, also, it is all about that, and I don't know about you, I am extremely conflict avoidant, except for I don't love it. I saw a meme that was like, this man did something and he's about to see the woman that only my father knows, and that's truly like I think if you have as a woman, if you have a comfortable relationship with your dad, there's like, I have yelled in a way that's like blown the hair back on his head.
Oh, forget it.
And I can't do it and he said to me before, he's been like, you need to go in there and act like you act with me. Like a fucking bitch. But it's really hard. And I think one of the reasons I love writing conflict, like I've never been in a 4-way scream off like happened at the beach house. I would pass out. I would dissociate. I would go to another plane of existence.
I remember the first time it happened with you and Allison in, I guess it was the penultimate episode of One.
You are the wound.
Yeah, you are the wound.
Bruce Kaplan's great line, you are the wound. And I remember doing it and feeling sick even doing the scene. Because I was like, I don't want to yell at you like this. I love you.
Your body doesn't know the difference. Yeah.
But no, and you're like, this feels horrible. But then also it's so fun to do because you're like, this is a world in which I somehow feel comfortable screaming in my friend's face.
Yeah.
And telling her all these things that I used to always say to like anyone who would listen. I'd be like, and then I was like, and they'd be like, did you actually say any of that stuff? And I was like, no, I was like.
I was like.
We're the same.
Oh,
yeah.
no, you're always like truly like a Kate Blanchett performance in your mind with someone else, like or like Shonda Rhimes in on the best seasons of Grey's, like turning to someone and being like, I'm giving it to you exactly succinctly, and I can feel proud of the way I express myself.
One of the great moments of my life, despite the fact that my wig on Scandal was not ideal, is that delivering a Shonda Rhimes monologue, and it was like, yes, I am a woman who loves sex, but am I a slut? No. And it was like delivering it to beautiful Kerry Washington with all my might. And then, of course, I had to get my throat slit because I was a slut.
You died on that?
Yeah, Huck killed me.
Huck killed you for the sin of being a
your
slut?
Your throat slit because you were a slut.
Huck killed me because I was about to kill someone else.
Oh, well then.
Who was trying to kill me.
Getting killed by Huck is hot, though.
Damn.
It was amazing. I had a backpack of blood, and then they made this thing. And suddenly there was like a man who pulled a thing and blood squirted from my neck.
So fun.
My parents,
have you died on screen?
No, I want to so badly.
I've died twice in Scandal.
Yeah.
And in American Horror Story.
Oh,
yes.
The dreams. I mean, those are the peaks.
And when I died in American Horror Story, I rotted from the inside. And what it involved was I was supposed to have maggots in my eyes. So they glued my eyes shut and covered them in white rice. And then there was a PA this person deserved, I mean, whoever you are, I couldn't see you, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to speak directly to you. Thank you for what you did.
Yeah.
I want to thank you. You led me around by the back so gently all day long, making sure I didn't trip over any scenery while I rotted from many angles.
There's a guy for everything, as you
There's
say
a
in the
guy
book.
for everything.
There's a guy for everything.
Speaking of dying, but not, the vaping.
Okay,
What do you want to say here?
so here's what I want to say. We're on a text chain.
We are.
Do you want to reveal what it's called?
It's called "Life Is So," which is a
Life
quote.
is just so.
It's
Life is
just,
just
so,
so.
which is a word, it's another gorgeous turn of phrase by Miss Lena Dunham.
Thank you so much. I believe because we were at Apple and I just went, life is just so. And then you created our text chain. And then
It's so.
It's
Life
just
is just so.
So we're on Life is Just So. And I like, sometimes if I feel like they're too far, I just like to pop in,
And it's the
Always
best
appreciate
moment
it.
in our life.
remind them
Yeah.
that I'm there. And I said, how are you? And you let me know that you had been going through an experience with someone you were dating who
Fraser.
had Fraser. I'm allowed to say it. I
No,
was
no,
just trying
please.
to be gently.
We can bring,
Yeah.
we can invoke Fraser.
So Fraser had an incident
Yeah.
that a vaping-induced lung infection. Evil.
So basically, what happened was, and some people might not know this, but so
It's pretty intense.
Fraser was he was a vape artist,
Yes.
and
Yes,
like
he
so
was.
many out there,
Yeah.
and
It's a
basically
medium.
the cartridge essentially, like, this can happen when you're sucking on that
And
vape.
listen, I'm going to look at the camera again. Listen to this man.
The like oil from the vape cartridge can
Yeah.
basically leak into your lungs, and it's poison. And so when we were at BravoCon, and I can say this because he has said all of it, and this
Publicly.
is all about his health, and it's
Yeah.
public, and I would never share
Yeah, of course.
anything if he hadn't been public about it. But we were at BravoCon.
I stole his medical records.
Melissa and I were there, and we were all there together. I was actually announcing that the Culture Wars are coming back. He was obviously there for Below Deck. It was exciting. And then
Fun moment. We're a power couple. We're at BravoCon.
I wasn't even going with the idea of like, and we're gonna take a photo on the carpet. He wanted to take a picture together. I was like, let's do it. I put it on my Instagram. Then all of a sudden, that very weekend, people were like, oh, Matt and Fraser are dating. As that was happening,
So intense.
and I know this is gonna sound dramatic, he had a heart attack in
Yeah.
front of me.
Doesn't sound dramatic.
Full
it's
out.
true. It's traumatic is
there-
what it is.
And I feel like what people don't know is it's like, if you know, you obviously know because it's horrifying and it's hard to explain, but you don't know a heart attack is happening every time. It's like
No.
he had very intense chest pains and like couldn't get comfortable and was short of breath and had to bail on the whole night with us, and we checked in on him later and it was ongoing. And so I'm thinking, like, is this stress and anxiety, whatever? We find out much later after tests come in that essentially because of this poison that got in his lungs, he had what was the equivalent of a heart attack. And
insane.
it was really bad, and we were in the hospital until 5:30 in the
Yep.
morning. We really had only been dating for about 3 months.
Which is also really intense because it certainly U-Haul lesbians things up a bit.
course,
100%. And so we were already like really enjoying being together, and then there was this health stuff that entered, and so that like accelerated things. And now where we're at is he's off. I can't say where, but he's
He's
creating
at a secret tropical location.
yeah, he's creating the television program many people like, and I'm going to see him soon. But while he's been gone and I've been sort of busy doing my own thing, we kind of did like take a little bit of space just
Yeah.
because of how intense everything had gotten and like personal things.
And you had to go into caretaker mode, and he's grappling with this terrifying change to his body, and it's really intense. And you shared just the littlest. Thank you for sharing. And you shared just the littlest snippet with me.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know you had been addicted to the stuff.
Oh, when we were at Apple, I didn't have my vape because I was trying to be elegant.
Right.
And do you remember we got in the car and I was like sweating? Like I was like, can someone get a gas station? Can someone find a gas
Oh
station?
my God, we did
went
have
to
to
a gas-
stop.
We
went
had
to a
to
gas
stop
station.
because I had been off the vape for like 24 hours and I was losing my mind. So I was a LILV, a late in life vapor.
Late in life vapor.
I started vaping on the set of a little television show called Industry because
Yes, because you were directress.
I was directress of the pilot, but also it was in Wales. People love to party in Wales.
Yeah.
I had been.
Don't I know about English people?
You know about English people.
Yeah.
Hello, Fraser.
They love sucking those things.
They love sucking those things. And a friend was like, "Oh, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you're sober. You know what? It tastes like candy. It doesn't do anything to you except put you in a great mood." Like literally, it was handed to me like it was a ring pop.
Yeah.
And
how
then-
they market
and
it.
it looks like a toy.
It looks like a toy. It lights up. It makes noises. And I went, great. Am I anxious all the time? Sure. Do I like to do something with my hands? Absolutely. And I became a person who would like wake up with my vape under my pillow. And I was not proud of it. I was embarrassed about it. I used to like hide it in my sleeve during meetings. I mean, it was really became like a pacifier.
Yep.
And I had this, I stopped, I started, I'm also a chronically ill person. I have no business. I mean, I have practically no business drinking Celsius. This is the craziest thing I've done in months.
We're so sorry.
No, I love it.
New vice unlocked.
Yep. But I was in this on-off relationship. I stopped. I started for 1 minute. I was like, you know what would be healthier than vaping? Rolled cigarettes. That's insane. But I was married to an Englishman. So
Right.
And he quit and I still couldn't. It was, and I was in a shame cycle with the vape. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting there just sucking on my vape, texting my boys. And you said this, and because I am dramatic, I literally took the vape and I dropped it into a cup of water so that I couldn't retrieve it. And I went, today's the day it stops. And I've not taken a puff since. It's been...
You're incredible.
Thank you so much. But you did that for me because everyone else is like, popcorn lung. It's a little abstract. We don't know what happens.
No, you can understand heart attack. And I've
You
never
said
understood it more than when it was happening in front of me.
And also I could feel the urgency. And you said to me, I'll never forget, you go, these things are so much more evil than we know.
Yeah.
We don't even know the beginning of it. His lungs look like a 70-year-old man's. And I just went, I want no part of this. And I have to say, the first week, it was the week of Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And my family had all chosen to assemble without me. Do with that what you will.
Okay. Okay.
No, my they were on various little trips.
And did you figure yourself phantom grab?
All day.
Yeah.
Every day I'd reach for it in my pocket. But I spent the week alone sweating it out, which needed to happen because I am generally I have my issues, but I'm a good mood girl. Like I don't take my moods out on other people. I was raised in a house where it was like, if you were in a bad mood, you better turn yourself back around, Missy, and come back out here with a smile.
Right, yeah.
Because who puts the shoes on your feet?
Fix your face culture.
Yes, it was my father's a WASP. It was fix your face culture. Mm-hmm. And so I was in a kind of mood. It was a synthetic, nasty mood.
Yep.
And that could not be controlled.
Because the nefarious thing about these things is that they were meant originally to help you quit smoking cigarettes.
And now, yesterday I saw a girl in the bodega and she was crying because her credit card wasn't working and she wanted her vape.
Oh.
Yeah.
And she was like 23 and I did pay for it because I was like, I can't watch you in this kind of pain. But I said to her, you got to stop. I said,
because look at you. Look at your life. Look at your choices.
Correct. And I also said, get Zins, get lozenges, but also anything that makes you cry in the bodega. Like, there's nothing I want in the bodega that if I can't get it, I'm going to cry.
I'm reduced to tears.
Yes. And I don't want to live that way.
Speak for yourself.
I don't want to live that way. I don't want to live that way.
I also got to say, he has remained off the vape. Yeah. He's doing
really
so much
better.
I'm going to see him.
Does he use lozenges or anything, or has he gone total no nicotine?
You know what's crazy about those British people? It's stiff upper fucking lip.
Mm-hmm.
When
like,
my husband
it is done.
quit smoking, I was like, do you want to do a patch? Do you want to do this? And he was like, that is for pussies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Wow.
No,
he wants to feel the pain.
He was like, it was so, if you know Fraser from the show, it was so Fraser. It was right then, it's over. It was just like, it's done. And he loved the thing. Like, I mean, like, I have to say then as someone's like boyfriend in that moment, I think it might make it easier too when you have someone that's like, hi, like I'm here too. This like really was scary and it affected me. And I do think there is a degree of like all of a sudden, it's like that zoom out thing. It's like football, right? You zoom out, you look at it, you're like, well, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, well, yeah. Everything. But I guess my thing to be negative on football is like you zoom out as an alien looking on the world and you're like, what do they do? Doesn't seem exactly right. Like many forms of like, government, things like that.
Yes.
Like if we all were to just zoom out, the zooming out that happens when you look at people sucking on a little machine of smoke.
Of course.
You'll right there, you'll be like, well, I look crazy.
My husband was a smoker we met. He saw me with the vape. He goes, it looks like you're plugged into a USB. Like you have to go back to your USB to charge every 5 minutes. Like you look like a demented robot. And it's interesting the thing you said about going, this is really scary for me, because the only thing that affected my behavior in my 20s when I was not healthy and not making choices to be healthier was my family looking at me after I'd had, a terrifying incident in the hospital and being like, that was scary for us. Yeah. And if you love people, you don't want them to suffer.
Yeah.
Well, you're moving through the world completely aware of your body. And like
I'm starting to be.
Well, like, and you're hearing this thing that Phrase went through, and you're like, it's done.
Totally.
Drop it in the water.
Drop it in the water. Never look at it again. It was green. And it was green.
And I remember her every day.
And I think about her every day. And when I see people vaping, I think, I hope that you have fun. And I hope you... A woman once said to me, a powerful woman said, when I quit smoking, she said, I didn't judge myself. I thanked myself for what it gave me. And I do think those years... Do I think it was good that I vaped for 6 years on and off? On and off? No.
Oh, no.
Do I think that during that time I needed something to stop like darker impulses? Probably yes.
Yeah, but...
And now I'm like, training wheels are off.
Yeah.
The vape is gone. But I do have stuffed animals.
Of course, the woman who what did she say? I think it for what it gave me.
Yeah.
And that woman was Marie Kondo. And that woman. Wait. What was I gonna say? Oh, but this is like when a total fucking stranger tells you, "Hey, I watched Girls. I read your book, and I think you have EDS."
That was the craziest. It was so crazy. A total stranger wrote to me. I had been.
It's the zoom out.
It's the zoom out.
And it was exactly right.
Everything she said. It was like reading she literally, her name is Marjorie, she literally made my life make sense to me because I had my entire childhood, I'd had all of this weird symptoms, like you're running in dodgeball and your knee dislocates and your teacher's like, how did you do that? Nobody touched you. You know, I was the constant, if there was anyone had a cold at school, like within, 6 hours, I was going down. I had migraines starting when I was 7. I had really strong, I used to faint when I was in the sun, which my grandma loved because once I fainted in the customs line in Mexico and we got to skip. And she said, I'll never forget, she said, can you do that again?
Airport hack. Customs hack.
But what was amazing was I knew I had endometriosis and I'd been writing about my health, which involved more symptoms. And also there were times I had to pause life for my health. And this woman had been paying attention. She said, even the way that you run, the way that your skin flushes, it all makes sense, and sent me to this doctor at Johns Hopkins. And now there's both more awareness about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, other sort of autoimmune illness, the intersection between all these things and endometriosis. There's increasing sort of people in the medical field to understand. But it was also a huge moment for me because I was like, a Jewish girl who was raised to be like, the doctor's always right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was who you respected like my grandfather's great shame was that he was a dentist, not a doctor, because he had not been able to afford like that much schooling. And so he loved to be Dr. Samuel Simmons, but he felt shame about the kind of doctor that he was.
Oh, Dr. Simmons.
But
Wish
he
I
was
could
a great
relieve that pain.
Andy Kaufman's orthodontist.
Wow. I
For his
never
service.
clocked his teeth. Anyway, keep going.
I don't
probably a good thing.
My grandpa wasn't really doing cosmetic. He was doing like, does one of your teeth go out like that?
Yeah.
Then we
I'll
have a
put it
problem.
back.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a thing in our house, which was you were never supposed to let him look in your mouth because if you had a loose tooth, he would rip it out.
No.
And so my mom would always be like, whatever we do when we get to Passover, do not open your mouth for grandpa. Because his thing was just like,
Come on.
let's go.
Oh,
Yank.
brother.
And he had his office in the house and his tools were upstairs. So
I had to say, there's something about an in-home dental or doctor thing, which I trust it more.
You
I'm
do?
like, this is the center of your life, literally, so you must be carrying down.
So do you know who the central dental practices in Great Neck, Long Island between the period of 1945 and 1983?
Dr. Sam Simmons.
Dr. Samuel Simmons and the patriarch from Capturing the Freedmans. And those were the two warring.
Remind me.
Do you remember the documentary about the family that end up maybe being predatory monsters? It was like the first Andrew Jarecki documentary. I watched it. Nicole Kidman was sitting in front of me at the theater. And it's about this family that potentially, it's unclear whether they committed sort of like mass acts of pedophilia or whether there was a sort of like satanic panic moment that happened. I'm sure that you end up kind of really siding, of course, with the victims, but he was this orthodontist who's kind of seemed like he had this really perfect family, and then it disintegrates. And his son was Bobo the Clown, the premier Barty clown of downtown Manhattan, so he used to do birthday parties. And the father was the other orthodontist in Great Neck. And of course, when all of this came out, my grandfather was king.
Of course.
I have to say, and this is the biggest compliment I could give, that story sounds like a limited series starring Matthew Rhys.
That's so nice. Well,
That's the best compliment I could
watch
give.
Capturing the Friedmans. I've never seen anyone nod as emphatically as Nicole Kidman ahead of me in the theater.
She loves
in the
cinema.
Angelica.
She loves
in
cinema.
2000
She
whatever.
was just excited to be in a theater.
She loves it. I can still remember what the light looked like pouring on her beautiful face.
Yeah, she's just stunning. She sat here just days ago.
I know. I listened.
Wasn't it? It really was a transfer. When she saw my little Looney Tunes on my shirt and couldn't handle herself for 45 seconds.
I can't imagine anything better than making Nicole Kidman happy.
It was wonderful.
Except for making Tilda Swinton smile. Which I did once.
Tilda. So we need to get her in.
We gotta get her in the chair.
I have a photo. I don't do, I'm sure you're the same, which is I don't do a lot of celebrity approaches. I'm always shocked by
Of course.
Yeah,
when it comes out of me.
right.
Like one time I saw Janice Dickinson at the Sunset Tower and I screamed,
Yeah.
you mean everything to me.
Oh, I loved that part of the book.
You know, thank you.
Yeah.
Know that recently I FaceTimed Judd and he had FaceTimed me and I was in bed, sweaty mess. He goes, Lena, I'm a little busy right now. Passes the phone to Glenn Powell.
Oh.
Glenn Powell,
like, hey.
heretofore pretty much no feelings. Yeah. The masculinity radiating from the screen. Do you want to know what I did?
What'd you do?
I went like this. Hey, you're my number one movie star. What happened? Who is she? What's going on? And Glenn Powell's like, thank you, that's so sweet. And then I go, ain't no set like a Judd Apatow set.
It's so like gosh.
No lies told.
No lies told, but what's she doing?
No, I think she.
Was she?
Something else took over.
That's exactly what happened. And that's usually when I approach a celebrity,
Yes.
it's something
Something
else
else
takes
happened.
over.
100%.
I learned the hard way because I once approached theater character actress legend Jackie Hoffman in a bodega
And that's
and
gonna
happen.
said,
It's
you
Jackie
were
Hoffman.
incredible in kissing Jessica Stein. And she went, oh.
Ow.
And I went, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, but you know what? You had the right idea, which was to not approach with the most popular thing she's done. You approach with the thing that's going to hit them in the heart the most.
Always.
Like when I met Queen Latifah and 3 people in front of me said, I loved you in Chicago. And I went up to her and said, I loved you in Life Support, which was her AIDS drama on HBO.
If you don't think
And
I
she said,
remember
thank
life
you
support,
so much, baby.
and she probably was like, that means everything to me. One time when I was at Esalen, my favorite place in the world, a woman said, I loved how you represented pelvic pain in your TV show Camping. Camping is not even available on HBO Max. It has been scrubbed. Jennifer Garner's probably taken it off her IMDb. Beautiful person, amazing experience.
Inside and out.
Inside and Out, makes Blueberry Buckle for the crew. Ain't no set like a Jennifer Garner set. But that
She's your number one
being
movie
said, like, you never, when someone says something to you like that, you cannot help but be bowled over.
No,
and that's
of
what you did
course.
for Latifah.
You got to do it for okay. So they're telling me we're almost out of time. So we have to do. I don't think so, honey.
Man, we
All
didn't
right.
get to ask you the question, but that's okay.
What's
Oh my
the
God, we
question?
didn't even ask the question.
Really quickly, do you want to tell us what
What was
it
the culture that made you say culture was for you?
It was seeing Sarah Jessica Parker and Jane Krakowski in Once Upon a Mattress on Broadway.
Lady
in third
Larkin
grade.
and Winifred.
Correct.
Thank you so much.
And I sang I'm Shy, I'm So Quiet and Shy for my camp musical audition. Did not get in, but I just thought, like, I love being a woman. Women can be funny. They can be fun. They can be sexy. Sarah Jessica Parker's like wearing rags and screaming. I then went home, AOL.com, printed out probably 100 low resolution images of Sarah Jessica Parker, made a wallpaper out of them.
Yep.
And it was so big for me.
I'm so sad we don't have more time to talk about this, but yes, no,
It
keep
was
going.
everything. And I mean, it's still, and then I've also gone back and watched Carol Burnett in it.
Yep.
Like, Once Upon a Mattress to me is, I love it because it's a musical where the central character is not supposed to be good at singing.
Yeah.
Like, which is one of the biggest fights my mom and I ever had was when I was going to Impact Performing Arts Camp in Salisbury, Connecticut,
Yes.
where I was in camp with all the Gummer sisters as well as Lily Rabe. They were all great at acting. We were doing a review. We were supposed to choose a song. My mom said, you should choose,
Shy. No.
no, she said, From Guys and Dolls, Adelaide's Lament, because
Oh, yeah.
it's a character piece.
Right.
And I said, I want to sing Edelweiss. And she said, you are a character actress.
Oh,
And I
Lori.
said, you are not an ingenue. She was right, but I
Lori.
wasn't ready to see the writing on the wall. And
You are a character actress. Is
you
for your mom.
are a
But you don't know
character
what a
actress.
gift it is.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's the best to
The
have a
best.
mom who knows you're a character actress.
yeah.
I mean, my mom played Rhett Butler in the camp play. Like that's where because she was tall, so they always gave her the boy parts. So she was like, take what you got, put on your robe, and sing Adelaide's Lament. But I just love that Once Upon a Mattress is a musical for girls who aren't naturally good at musicals.
Yeah.
Because they can go, because I'm actually terribly
Least
timid.
terribly shy.
Hi.
My
Yeah.
favorite one is The Swamps of Home.
Are brushed with green and gold.
Oh
At break of day.
I always forget that you're like a musical theater kid, and then it just gets me right in my heart. Then I
know.
remember when I watch Wicked.
You can stream that on Peacock.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got to do I Don't Think So, Honey.
All right.
All right. I have one. This
Darn.
is our 60-second segment
Great.
where we take some time, 60
Great.
seconds,
Great.
to rake things across the coals. I do have something
Gently, because you want jobs.
directed at our
Yes.
guest.
This is Matt Rogers, I Don't Think So, Honey, directed at Lena Dunham. His time starts now.
I don't think so, honey. What you're about to do to role model, making him a movie star, is so
how dare you.
dangerous.
I know.
I don't think so, honey, that we're going to be able to handle it. I've been seeing Tucker rise and rise and rise.
Yeah.
I've seen the Sally phenomenon. I said they're making a movie star now. We are. If you think Hudson and Connor have taken over,
You're not
just
ready.
You fucking wait. The little tattoos all over his body.
I know.
His sort of easy way with the smile. The hair that looks unstyled, but you know it is. The
30
sort of
seconds.
natural charm and charisma. I don't think so, honey, that we're ready for this person to show us perfection in this type of way. Not to put pressure, because I think putting pressure on it would then sort of like, I don't know, I would hate for any thought
15 seconds.
to run through his head besides, well, I'm up, I'm in a good mood, I'm going to do my thing today, which seems like the vibe.
That is his mood.
I don't think so, honey, that we're going to be
5
able
seconds.
to get through, but I do think so, honey, that I'm going to be there because
Thank you.
Natalie Portman, Tucker, I'm in the seat. I do think so.
And
And,
that's 1 minute.
Rashida Jones kind of giving him like a little askance look. And I will say this, that I showed an early cut of the movie to a friend of mine who's like a very thoughtful 45-year-old writer, who's like half queer. And she was like, you're ruining my life.
Yep.
Like, I didn't think I still had feelings like this in me. And it's funny because I so want Tucker never to feel objectified that I literally talked to him like, I'm like, put her here, pal. Like, I was like, I
Yeah.
talked to him like I'm a friend's father
Yep.
who's just walked in from golfing and doesn't really want kids at the house because I so don't want him to ever feel like all of these like creepy, like I want him to feel freedom, and I'm like, anyone can be objectified like this. I don't want this like lovely young boy who like loves his mother Susan so much to ever feel that he's being like controlled.
Well,
But
that
he's
seems
so-
to be too late on that.
He has the perfect perspective on it, though, because, and by that I mean he has a sense of humor, because he recently, or a couple of months ago, posted something on Instagram stories where it was a meme because they have the same haircut of a famous Sean Cody porn star named Brandon. And he was like, come to the show tonight. He has an awareness of what he does to people, but doesn't flaunt it too much and too
No.
flagrant of a way that he will be perfect and objectify him.
He's also just a good boy. Like, I was around him for long enough that if the facade was going to crack, it would have. Let's just say if someone was going to kick a rug or throw a chair, it would have happened. And he is a good boy. Like, he's from Maine. He gets really happy when dogs show up. Like, there's an ease, and he is obviously poetic and complicated. I just like love him. He's my buddy. Like,
Yeah.
I like text him pictures of my pigs all the time, and he writes LOL. Like, and it's, you know, it's very healthy to have young friends.
And he
It's very
writes
healthy.
LOL.
He writes
LOL.
LOL. I love him, but he's a really good actor, and it's annoying.
Oh, I love
it's
that.
very like Brad Pitt in California, where you're like, who's that?
Yeah, okay. Well, get ready for that. Who's
Okay.
that
We're
moment?
fucked.
Here's Bowen Yang's I Don't Think So,
I'm
honey.
so excited.
Also inspired by our guest.
Okay, this is Bowen Yang's I Don't Think So, honey. His time starts now.
I don't think so, honey. More places should be like the Tower Bar at Sunset Tower and serve what? Chicken pot pie.
Oh.
Why? I don't care that it costs $34 like it does at Tower Bar. Price it up. Inflate that all you want. I know I'm paying for something premium, even if it's pretty bad. I love the crust, and you're thinking, oh, but Bowen, it's so hard to make and it's so hard to scale up at a restaurant. Buy the puff pastry ahead of time.
30
Yep.
seconds.
Put it in the freezer, lay it out on the day, you'll be okay. Cut it out on just above the dish. It will be fine. It's not that hard to make. I just want it made from the expertise and curatorial sort of
And 15 seconds.
just POV of a chef. And Tara Bar, I do lament how populated it's
5
been.
seconds.
It's gotten since your time there
Yeah.
and making it a home. I love going still. It has a new valence to it now.
It has a really new valence.
And that's
And that is 1 minute.
That was incredible. I agree with you 100%. I will say, and I talk about this in the book, that during COVID, I was, for a period, the only guest at the Sunset Tower.
Incredible.
There
Yeah.
was one guest. There was a gentleman at the desk. There was a lady upstairs in 1109. She was me. I was, and my dog Ingrid, who has her own relationship to that place. And because I was alone, I could go work on my computer in the bar.
Yeah.
I could go sit by the pool. I could go sit on the roof. The freedom, I was Eloise. It was the greatest time of my life.
And no one knew that the burger was famous, so they couldn't charge $46 for it.
Well,
the
they weren't
current
even
price
serving
on the
food.
menu.
They were literally serving croissants wrapped in croissants wrapped in whatever,
Parchment.
like
Yeah.
tinfoil, because I forgot the word for tinfoil.
They have
'cause
good
of
pigs in a
Celsius.
blanket too, I believe.
I am a vegetarian, but that's not a judgment.
More
it's
for me.
just, But I've had them before
Yes.
in my when I was acting out of pocket and eating meat, and I
That's what meat eating
loved
is.
them.
Yeah.
But and now I was alone at the Tower Bar, and it was really beautiful. And then you set one table on fire,
Yeah, and they
and
kicked
they
out.
they
I'm
didn't
sorry.
kick me out, which was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
What they did was monitor me, and now
Yeah.
every time I see lovely Jeff, who runs the Tower Bar, he says, "Are you going to set anything on fire today?" And I go, "No, I don't have matches. I don't have a lighter. My husband won't let me."
You can't live down something like lighting something on fire. And once you walk back into that establishment, it's tough. Incredible.
Okay, well, you're about to set this whole place on fire with your "I don't think so, honey." Are
I
you
thought
ready?
about it in advance. I can't be as good as Nicole Kidman saying "bad breath." Nothing will ever be as good.
Listen,
problem.
we're all trailing in her dust. But are you ready? This is Lena Dunham's "I Don't Think So, Honey." Her time starts now.
Okay. I don't think so, honey. Quiet luxury.
Oh.
I don't. If I'm going to have luxury, I want it to be loud.
Yes.
Firstly, I'm not. It's like, since when did elegance mean that you were wearing oatmeal with bone, with beige, with tan? We have so many colors. We have so many materials.
Yeah.
Why is looking like you work at a spa suddenly a sign? Did rich people get so
30.
bored with having so many things that they thought the most important things are going to be things that look like nothing? And I don't think so, honey. What, you're a fashion blogger and you're showing me that you have a top that looks like
15.
someone's baby's skin and a pants that look like someone else's brother, and both those people are white? I don't want it.
5 seconds.
I don't think so, honey. When I get something and I spend a lot of money on it, I want everyone to know.
Headlines. And that's
That's
1
1
minute.
minute.
Honestly, it does. I think I'm going to say something big. Fashion got worse when we went minimalist.
The other thing to know is that like minimalism looks very different on a person who spent 20 years creating their body.
Yes.
Of course.
Whereas like minimalism on a person who's just trying to survive
Yeah.
is a different
It's a
energy.
shirt.
Yeah, it's just a shirt that looks, and like, what, you want me to spend $500 on a t-shirt that looks like the one that I wore over my bathing suit when I went to the Breakers with my grandma in 1992?
Well, it looks dirty on purpose a little bit, so that's why it's more expensive.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it looks like someone sewed it in a shaker community. And I'm
But
mad.
you can see the stitching. That's why it's $8,000.
I'm mad. I'm so mad. And I see things and I just go, you're really trying to tell me this? And I don't want to indulge in fast fashion. I'm not
Right.
trying to hurt the planet.
No.
But I don't want what you're offered. So I'm going to have to go to Forever 21.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go to Forever 21. Thank you for giving me the space to say
Of
that.
course.
I'm going to have to go to Forever 21 being the pull quote.
Being the
Yeah.
pull quote.
Maybe that's title of that.
I'm going to have to go to Forever 21.
The first time Forever 21 opened, I was like, this is a utopia
Oh,
for
yeah.
women
Yes.
like me.
It felt like something that wasn't for us in one of the things that, like, it was one of those moments where it's like, you know, when you're like a little gay boy and you see Justin Timberlake and all the girls are excited, but you can't be.
No.
So you get angry. That's how I felt about Forever 21.
But then,
I was like, they have a place to go hang out.
But then we would go at NYU at the Forever 21 Union Square.
Yeah,
and that was a haven.
Well, finding out that they even sold things for
men.
boys/men.
I used to, like, if it was a hot day and I was in a dress and my thighs were rubbing together, you just pop into Forever 21 and get a pair of like neon bike shorts, and suddenly your outfit is singing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Famesick, April 14th.
I love being with you two, and it's so special to have our group chat come to life in this way. And thank you for everything you've given me. Friendship, changing my life through helping me quit vaping, reading the book so thoughtfully.
We love every
love
single
book.
page of it, just like we love everything that you've done. I mean, like, it's not a lie. That show... You're one of the most important people to our generation in terms of pop culture, in terms of what you contributed.
Life is so...
Life is just so.
Life is just so.
That's the
title of
that.
it.
Come
I love
on.
you guys.
Love
Life
you.
is just so.
Thanks for having me and for jacking me up for 3 days.
We love you
I'm
deeply.
going home to take 42 Benadryl.
That's actually in vogue. Okay, we end every episode with a song. You know the one. You know the one.
You go.
I'm curious if you know the one. I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. Oh. So listen to the rest of that. Watch the best episode of television of all time.
So
All
nice. And
Adventures
Robin's
Women Do.
out. Sexistential. She's out.
It's so good.
Bye.
I love you guys.
Las Culturistas is a production by Will Ferrell's Big Money Players and iHeartRadio podcasts.
Created and hosted by Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang. Executive produced by Anna Hosnier and produced by Becca Ramos.
Edited and mixed by Doug Bain.
And our music is by Henry Kapersky.